Hi everyone, today I'm going to be doing the small booktuber tag. I will leave the original video linked down below. So I was tagging this by Books with Bridget, who is one of my favorite small booktubers, so thanks a lot for the tag. So let's get into the questions. Question number 1 is introduce yourself, which that's a loaded question there. Like, I don't know what you want from me. My name is Rebecca, or Becca, or Bex, which actually, oddly enough, only like 2 or 3 people like in real life call me Bex, but for some reason it's always been the name I've used in my social media. I'm a student who really likes to read. I mainly read fantasy. It used to be mainly YA, but I am branching out towards adult fantasy. I don't know what else. See, I'm a pretty boring person. I don't have like really interesting hobbies or anything like that. I can half play piano. I took lessons for a few years and now I just don't really play it because I try to learn a song and I can't play it immediately, so I just give up. So that's the kind of person I am. If I'm not like immediately good at something, I very easily give up. This is getting way too deep for introduce yourself. And also I really like musicals. That's my other big hobby. Just like listening to musical soundtracks and then reading. What else? So I'm a Gemini and an INTJ and an Enneagram 5, even though all of those are pseudosciences. Yeah, I'm a pretty boring person, I think. So question number 2 is how long have you been on Booktube? My first video was the Booktuber newbie tag, but I think maybe my third video was like my June wrap up. So I'm gonna guess like end of June, start of July of 2020. Yeah, my first video I posted it on the 24th of June 2020, but I did actually have a video before that on my channel that I never unprivated, and it was my January wrap up. I filmed that, I edited it, and I even put it on my channel on private, and then I just never unprivated. I couldn't do it. So it only took then like another 6 months for me to finally be like, okay, we're doing it. Question number 3 is what type of videos do you make? And the answer is the usual. Like, I make TBRs. I have a TBR game that I still have not finished making because I'm the worst. I do wrap-ups. I do the occasional tag video. I'm trying to do more like secret reading vlogs and stuff like that, but the only problem with that is I'm not like a really quick reader, so if I like decide to do a secret TBR, it will take me like months to film it. Otherwise I have to like sacrifice reading books that I'm like really interested in that don't like fit any like topic I've thought of. So yeah, but I'm trying to do more of them. Question number 4 is what do you love about Booktube? Like, just the people on it. I love books, I love talking about books, and I love the people who talk about books on Booktube. And just everyone is just like so great. Everyone tries to like build everyone else up, and it's just really nice. It's just really nice. Question number 5 is what type of books do you read? And I already kind of answered that in my introduce me section, and so it's mostly fantasy. It's a lot of fantasy. I've always been mostly YA fantasy, but recently I've kind of started to move into adult fantasy. Though I will say when I was younger, I actually didn't read that many fantasy books. I feel like well, to be honest, my library was really small growing up, so I kind of just read whatever was there. I'm definitely going to do a video at some point of me like rereading some like childhood books that I have on my shelves, because there's a couple that I own. I used to read the majority of my books from the library, but they don't have any like teen/YA books except for one shelf, which is just like a million copies of Twilight, a million copies of The Mortal Instrument, and like Divergent and The Hunger Games. Not a big selection, so I kind of had to stop using my library because there was no books there. And also I had a really bad experience with my school library. Okay, so I'm about to go on a tangent here, but I stopped using the library because when I was probably 13, 14, I was reading the Hunger Games series. I started reading them after the first movie came out, I think. And I picked up, or maybe it was after the second movie, that doesn't matter. I decided I wanted to read the books, and I read the first Hunger Games from like the library in my town. Then I read the second one from the library in my school. And it was really badly organized. And like the librarians, which were just like older students, like half the time they didn't show up. And I read it and I went and I returned it. I remember returning it because I was waiting there for 20 minutes for someone to show up. And then for the next 3 years of school, they kept counting me to return this book. And I finally went up. I was like, I do not have that book. I gave it back 3 years ago. So yeah, and then I stopped using libraries because I got annoyed. That had absolutely nothing to do with the question. I read a lot of fantasy, okay? Question 6 is, what's your favorite video you've made? And I don't know. I do really like the every book I read in 2020 video because that was actually 25, I think, minutes of footage. And I got it down to 7 minutes because it was me reading from a list. So I had to like look down, look back up. So I had to cut it so many times. And then I also had to add in numbers, add in pictures of books that I didn't have. And it took way more editing than I usually do. So I'm pretty proud of that one. Then I'm also pretty proud of my Goodreads video that I did, part 1 and 2. It's a little messy because of just the disaster that happened while trying to make that video. But I still like it, and I was very proud of myself for actually doing that and reading all 10 of the books. Well, there was a couple I had already read, like 7-ish books I had to read. So I was quite proud of myself for actually completing it. And then also just the ones where I rank an author's books. So I've done Cassandra Clare, V.E. Schwab, and Marissa Meyer. I've done all 3 of them. I quite enjoy those as well. So then question number 7. And the final question is, tag at least 4 small booktube channels or every small channel that you can think of. So for this, number 1, if you're watching this and want to do it, you're tagged. Number 2, I'm going to just all of my favorite small booktube channels, I'm going to just link in the description. And if you're there and haven't done it, then you're tagged. If you're there and you have already done it, then I just really like your channel, and everyone else here should just check them out. So that is it for this video. Thank you to Bridget for tagging me in this. It was a lot of fun. I do really like doing tag videos. I don't really care if I get tagged in them though. If one interests me, I will probably just do it anyway. Thank you guys so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!